When you think of making a movie, what do you think of? You think of writing characters, crafting intricate worlds, cinematography, and scrapped footage on the cutting floor. Many forget a very simple yet vital piece to it all: character design. More specifically, their wardrobe. Depending on what your character wears can dramatically change how the audience perceives a character. In arguably the pinnacle of character design in the original trilogy of Star Wars, they absolutely master this technique. For instance, Vader. The second he steps out into the hallway of the Tantive 4, you could automatically tell he's the villain. With his menacing mask unyielding to any emotions, midnight cape, and elegant black suit overshadowing his stormtroopers. He makes a statement as soon as you see him, embedding him as intimidating to the audience straight away without any unnecessary exposition. On the other hand, we have Luke, a young man from the desert waste of Tatooine, innocent and adventurous, clothed in all white to symbolize his good intentions and pure nature. However, as the trilogy progresses and he draws closer and closer to the dark side, his appearance changes with his character arc, becoming darker with each entry. Wearing white robes in A New Hope, a more gray flight jacket in Empire Strikes Back, and a full black attire in Return of the Jedi when he becomes closest to darkness, fighting Emperor Palpatine. This subconsciously shows the audience Luke's slow descent and conflict with the Force, without having to explicitly tell the audience anything. Show, don't tell. Clothing in Star Wars also reveals a character's true, character. Take, for instance, Han Solo compared to stormtroopers. Han Solo wears a white shirt underneath with a black vest over top. Signaling, he may act selfish and bad boy on the outside with his black jacket. He has a pure heart of gold underneath. Stormtroopers are the exact opposite of this, wearing white armor over their black body glove. The white to signify their purity as they parade themselves throughout the entire galaxy as good guys, establishing peace and order. When in fact, stormtroopers are actually corrupt and evil, spreading darkness and cracking down on anyone who stands in their way. Moving on from Star Wars, let's take a look into the fantasy epic Lord of the Rings. Their use of wardrobe brilliant explains the conflict between Sauron and Middle-earth, how they fight, why they fight, and who is right and wrong. In the films, the orcs wear tattered and hideous equipment with bent blades and jagged shields. They look barbaric and untamed, a force of unrelenting nature ravaging the land for Sauron. Contrast this to Gondor and Rohan with Aragorn's knights in gleaming armor. It displays discipline and purity, calling to thought the knights of old Europe and the codes of chivalry they swore to defend their people. The kingdoms of men are there to protect their land and fight for good, and Sauron is there for chaos and death. And all of that can be gleaned without a single person saying so. You can tell in any fight between men and orcs who is good and bad simply by looking at them. It shows conflict between the two sides and drives the story forward, even when we don't necessarily get any exposition. Character wardrobe doesn't just reveal right, wrong, and morality, though. It can also show a character's progression through an event or events and how they grow or develop. In the film Jurassic Park, Alan Grant and the kids wear clothes of bright colors at the start, but as the story progresses and the gang gets chased all across the park by dinosaurs together, they get muddy and torn up. With this, we can track their progress as characters, seeing on screen how they are forced to trek across a hostile environment that is by no means friendly. Imagine if Grant and the kids came out of the jungle without a single scratch. It would show there was no struggle at all in their fight for survival. It would mean there was no point to any of it. But with the clothes getting torn up and shredded, it shows how in their fight for survival they grew together as characters in their trek across Jurassic Park. So next time you start working on your movie, take a careful look at what you have your actors wear. It doesn't necessarily need to be as extravagant like with Star Wars stark black and white comparisons, but it is something to keep in mind. as when using it you can set up character behavior and morals, establish clear-cut conflict that the audience can understand, and track character progression through the story, all with minimal or absolutely no boring exposition. Whether that be by having certain characters wear brighter colors if they are more good or innocent, or it could be people wearing darker colors if they are bad or having a darker streak to them. At the very least, while you're thinking of characters, scripts, worlds, and cameras, don't forget about the wardrobe in the back. It's more important than you think.